Alright guys, Arturo versus 40% Flashkick semis.
So Arturo, you gotta do me this honor of delivering as much ass whooping as you can.
Got it, man.
You have to. Because, like, I don't win unless I win. I have to earn it.
I feel like in this game, yeah, the win's definitely...
Well, no, not even in this game in general. I mean, I have not succeeded in this game until I've actually defeated somebody, you know?
That's cool, man.
I'm not taking any DQ, I'm not taking that, it's a win, you know? I have to earn it.
Alright, good luck, man.
So please, hit me as hard as you fucking can.
Imagine the year is 2013. You just spent what was the last of your money to go to Evolution because it's the last year Street Fighter Cross Tekken is going to be featured as a main game. You've sold your PlayStation, your karaoke machine, and several video games in order to make it out for one last tournament. You're currently fighting in winner's side, top 16 out of 600 people who enter the tournament, and you couldn't be happier for this moment.
Yeah. Dude, that's just So,
like
look at this, you got yellow and red.
Is the red one.
Yeah.
Seems to have to lead in the pressure right now.
Nice, overhead, low.
He was looking for a jump back. Ooh, there we go, big damage.
Oh, wow. That's a big turnaround.
I love that. Oh.
Okay, that's an even bigger turnaround. Okay. Oh!
Air grab. Nice. Now, sometimes I truly forget that.
That was
air
sick.
grab. Holy.
Sorry, 40% Flashkick going in right now.
That's
got him.
Yeah.
Oh, the air throw was so nice.
That was great.
That was
I
so
forgot
nice.
he has that tool.
During my first tournament back in 2010, Super Street Fighter 4 had just updated, and all of the new characters were available for play. I had recently started playing Vanilla Street Fighter 4, and with the update came an opportunity to visit a real-life tournament in order to see how I stacked up against the competition. With the encouragement of a friend and the tentative blessing of my parents, we drove 4 hours from Niles, Michigan to Columbus, Ohio in order to compete. The tournament took place in a bar, and the pools were set up in round-robin format. I played a total of 5 matches, and my final score was 0 wins and 5 losses. I was so devastated, I cried for the entire duration of the car ride home.
That was tight. You know that was tight. Keep hitting me, I love it.
The next 2 years were dedicated to practicing. I had over 20 years of Street Fighter knowledge to pick up on in what would be the shortest possible time frame in order to be good enough to be considered a tournament player. And though I saw some success in local tournaments, it wasn't until I started traveling to tournaments in Kalamazoo and Detroit that I was reminded how much I still had to learn. However, early in the year of 2013, I traveled to Atlanta, Georgia for Final Round 16 and ended the tournament in 16th place of the 300 players who entered. It was at this point that I finally convinced myself I was ready for the big leagues.
Went under the jump in and got hit by. Nice overhead. Tries to keep his options open. Oh, he was trying to pick up the knife, but Cheeseface immediately up in his face right as that was happening. Lulled him into a false sense of security. Oh wow, no frame trap. This for the wall dive, and although it looks like it landed right on top of his head, either way, manages to poke him out with a crouching strong into that. Get some decent damage. Oh wow, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the round. Really good anti-air there by Flashkick. That's one of the reasons to pick Ultra 1 for Cody is that he has that FADC option.
I was so convinced that I would do well at EVO that I went ahead and registered online for the tournament without a hotel room, or flight, or even enough money to survive out there. I remember asking my biological mother, I am adopted by the way, for help as well. I also sought aid, somehow, in the various fighting game communities for a way to reach EVO. One of the tournament organizers, Jason Adanye, reached out to me with a deal. I'd put up some things as collateral, and he'd give me the money to go to the tournament. The catch was that I had to go to Detroit to make the deal. I remember sneaking out of my home, claiming I was going to a friend's house for the day, and drove the truck that I had all the way to Detroit and back in order to have the money necessary to even make it to the tournament. Shoutouts to OMG It's Andre for hosting me that year. Thank you, both of you, for making that happen.
Nice anti-air.
Here comes Stomp.
Movement looking on point. Yeah, here comes the stomp.
I told you. It's so good in this matchup because he can sit there and you can't do anything.
40% looking nice right now. We see the movement, the sand
Stomp
jabs
again.
coming out, the patience on defense. But even Chip, it looked like it was going to whiff like a cross-up, but
I'm telling you that the
Alex is the
Stomp
best.
is too good in this matchup. If you get a life lead, you can't do anything. And he just does it.
He's so scared to throw the booms right now.
Yes,
Like, you know,
because of it.
you think you want to, you need to against the grapplers, which you do, but if Alex is a read, those stomps, you know?
Another
Close
one.
is done. One
Another-
more.
Oh,
Gets the overhead.
Okay, okay.
Nash
He's gonna
coming
go
in,
super.
getting
He's gonna-
damage.
Okay, he's just gonna take the round. He wants the round. He wants to get
Hell
back. in
yeah.
there. I like it.
I'm not trying to get 4-0. Like,
Cut him in half. Let's go.
It was 4-1.
Let's go.
Gets the whole perfect.
Flash kick feeling good. Flash kick feeling good. Let's go.
Oh, you gotta feel good. And I love the choice of the super.
While preparing for the tournament, I was so confident that I was going to get out of my pools that I didn't bother studying for any of my matches in the pool itself. Instead, looking ahead in the bracket to who my final opponents were going to be if the brackets played out the way I predicted. There were potentially two big-name opponents to take on, Ricky Ortiz and Arturo Sanchez. They were the guys to beat. Both of them were tournament winners in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and both of them were guaranteed to get out of their pools. Sure enough, the day of EVO, I blew through my brackets without a single loss, and my first opponent was Ricky Ortiz. I remember religiously watching Ricky's playstyle, how they acted in certain situations, and planned accordingly to how I would respond in every situation. Sure enough, Ricky played exactly to form, but even equipped with this knowledge, the games were incredibly close. I wound up winning the set 2-1, and to this day, Ricky Ortiz still cusses me out every time they see me. Which brings me to the match you're witnessing now. Going into this fight, I remember being so excited, so full of energy, so happy that I'd made this trip. Because where I was now, nobody could take this away from me. I had earned this fight. I had worked hard and made sacrifices, and I was proving to be the very best, that I had what it took to fight them. To fight them all on equal ground, on equal footing. I deserve the respect they gave every other professional player, and though I was some random guy who came out of nowhere, I felt like I truly belonged. After this fight, I lost the next two games to MOV and Justin Wong, just outside of top 8. And because of that, the tournament records don't even remember I was there. It was if I never even existed. That, however, didn't discourage me from continuing to play fighting games. With the advent of Street Fighter V, I regularly started attending whatever events I could in order to continue playing and meeting new people. I've made a lot of friends, fell into the graces of some fantastic gaming communities, and occasionally did some really cool things on stream that made people shake their heads in bewilderment. Fighting games are never going to stop being a major source of inspiration for me, and so long as the competitive nature of the game stays intact, I'll keep playing. Who knows? Maybe all I need is one big tournament victory, and I'll be considered a professional by everyone else's standards. Until then, this is Andrew Fine, 40% Flashkick, saying thank you for watching, and I'll see you all when Street Fighter V Arcade Edition comes out. Enjoy the rest of the match.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love that video.